Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt like you're stuck? Like you're running hard on a treadmill, but just not really getting anywhere new?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of hitting the same wall again and again.
Exactly. Facing the same challenges, maybe the same kinds of relationships, or, the same frustrations over and over. It's like life keeps handing you the same lesson, even when you swear you've already issed it 100 times.
You feel like shouting, I got the memo already.
Right. So today we're doing a deep dive into a really profound idea. Soul contracts. Now, these aren't cosmic punishments, not according to this perspective.
No, not at all. The idea is more like agreements. Agreements our souls make for growth, perhaps even before we step into this life.
And our guide for this fascinating perspective comes from a transcript featuring Valir of the Pleiadian Collective. It offers insights that really challenge how we typically approach our struggles.
It really does. It flips the script on why we face difficulties.
So our mission today is, to understand why we react the way we do to these recurring challenges. Why our attempts to break free often seem to just tighten the chains.
And most importantly,
how we can actually move beyond these patterns, find lasting freedom and real personal growth.
what's truly fascinating here, and what this Valir material illuminates so well, is the suggestion that the struggles you face aren't random, not just bad luck.
That's a huge shift in thinking right there.
It is. Instead, they're potentially part of a larger, maybe even divinely designed soul project, something intended for your evolution.
A soul project. I like that framing.
Yeah. So this deep dive, hopefully, will guide you through understanding these challenges, not as roadblocks that just stop you in your tracks,
but
as the very conditions like the rich soil needed for your deepest, most significant transformation.
Okay. So you start to get this inkling, maybe this insight, that these recurring difficulties aren't just random noise. They're part of a bigger design, maybe these soul contracts you agreed to.
It can be quite a revelation when that clicks for people.
Totally. But what's our first reaction? Our immediate, knee-jerk human response when we're faced with the pain or the difficulty that seems to stem from these deeper agreements?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
It really cuts right to the heart of our experience, doesn't it? Valir tells us it's completely natural to feel this urgent, almost desperate desire to just get out of painful situations.
Yeah, escape?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We ask ourselves, can I just disagree with this reality and leave? And that impulse to flee suffering is incredibly understandable. I mean, no being consciously wants to hurt themselves. We instinctively pull away from discomfort.
Of course.
But Valir's insight really challenges us here. It asks us to consider what truly happens when we react just from that place of anger or defiance or simply wanting to escape instead of really engaging with what's happening.
And that's often where the real learning starts, or gets missed.
Precisely. It's often where the potential for awakening really begins.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting for me, because our usual approach, that fight or flight thing, might actually be counterproductive here.
That's the core of it.
Valir makes this pretty impactful statement. What you fight, you feed. How does that actually play out when we try to break free from these contracts? What's the trap?
It's such a critical point. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the energy of breaking or fighting a situation, well, it's often born from pain, right? Or fear or indignation.
Makes sense. You're reacting to the pain.
Exactly. And Valir explains that you can certainly remove yourself physically, you can quit the job and the relationship, move, you can make external changes.
Yeah.
But the unresolved energy associated with that contract, that core lesson, it travels with you. It's almost like a shadow that follows you wherever you go.
Ah, okay, so it just pops up again somewhere else.
That's the idea. The core influence of the contract persists, finding new ways to manifest until its central lesson is finally truly addressed. There's no real freedom in trying to destroy or break something before you understand its purpose.
So that force just digs it in deeper.
In a way, yes. That destructive force often deepens the energetic mark, strengthening the very pattern you're desperately trying to escape.
So it's not about the physical escape then, it's the internal resolution that matters.
Exactly.
This idea that we can just force our way out of a soul contract. Valir calls it a great illusion of control. Our soul, or maybe our higher self, this wiser part of us, designed these agreements for our growth.
That's the perspective offered, yes.
So that smaller part of us, what Valir maybe calls the ego, the part driven by fear or needing immediate comfort or just seeing things from a limited viewpoint, when that part tries to just undo the contract.
It's like a child maybe rejecting some wise guidance,
Yeah.
unaware of the bigger, more beneficial plan that's unfolding.
Like trying to force a flower to bloom before it's ready, you just damage it.
Precisely. The ego's attempt to assert control, to just say no to a soul contract.
Yeah.
It usually comes from wanting immediate relief, but it overlooks the deeper purpose.
It's short-sighted.
You could say that.
Yeah.
It's the difference between, say, trying to cut off a branch just because you dislike its shape versus understanding that maybe that branch is essential for the tree's overall health and growth.
That makes so much sense. Okay. So, if fighting these challenges only makes the knot tighter, if it keeps us stuck in that loop, what is the path to real freedom?
Well, this is where it gets really beautiful.
The Source offers us a wonderful analogy, right? Comparing our journey not to a battle, but to something much quieter, more internal.
Yes, the metamorphosis of a caterpillar. Such a powerful image.
Tell us about that.
Well, think about it. A caterpillar doesn't fight its way out of discomfort. It doesn't struggle against its limitations.
It can go inward.
Exactly. It closes itself into a chrysalis. It surrenders completely to an internal process it doesn't even fully understand, just trusting the inherent wisdom within its own being.
Okay.
Now imagine someone, maybe out of impatience or a misplaced desire to help, were to force that chrysalis open before its time.
Oh, that would be good.
No. The delicate being inside would likely be harmed, its wings might be malformed, it wouldn't be able to fly. Valir draws a direct parallel here to our soul's growth.
So the challenges, the contracts, they're like the chrysalis.
In a way, yes. They form a kind of energetic chrysalis around us, not there to trap us, but to provide the precise conditions, the protected space for our deep internal transformation.
Wow.
So when we resist those conditions, when we try to break the chrysalis out of anger or impatience or frustration,
We interrupt our own transformation.
we interrupt our own metamorphosis. It can lead to incomplete change, maybe like a butterfly that just can't quite take flight.
That's such a vivid image, and it makes you think how often we do push against our circumstances instead of leaning in.
It's our default, often.
So what does this really mean for us then? It suggests that true liberation isn't about struggling out of the chrysalis.
No, it's about allowing the metamorphosis to complete naturally, from the inside out.
The butterfly doesn't break its chrysalis, does it?
No, it expands, it grows into its new form, and the chrysalis simply dissolves or falls away. It's no longer needed once the transformation is complete.
And Valir suggests it's similar with soul contracts.
Yes. When you finally transcend a soul contract through understanding and inner change, it often just dissolves on its own. The situation might resolve itself unexpectedly, or you simply realize you've effortlessly outgrown it. The struggle ceases.
And the alternative, resistance.
Well, Valir gives us a clear warning about the cost of that resistance. What you resist persists.
We've heard that before, but in this context.
Right. If you refuse to truly face a lesson, life, with what Valir calls a deep compassion, will keep returning it to you again and again.
So that's why we see those patterns.
That's the idea. You might notice recurring themes in your career, conflicts with different people that feel eerily similar, familiar dynamics playing out in new relationships.
It's not a punishment then.
Not according to this view. It's the universe's persistent invitation, giving you as many chances as you need to finally grow through it. Resistance just postpones the freedom that comes with resolution.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so fighting is a dead end. Resistance keeps us stuck. How do we actually transcend these contracts then? How do we allow that metamorphosis to complete?
This is where the practical tools come in.
Valir offers 4 powerful yet surprisingly gentle tools that shift us from struggle to freedom. Let's start with the foundation.
Presence.
Presence. Every challenging situation, every trigger, every difficult interaction is essentially an invitation to fully arrive in that moment.
Instead of checking out or reacting automatically.
Exactly. Think about a tough conversation or a frustrating moment. What happens when you're just planning your rebuttal or mentally escaping or replaying the argument? You miss the actual experience. You miss the opportunity for genuine engagement.
You're not really there. Right. Valir suggests that instead of pushing away that knot in your stomach or ignoring the rising frustration, you simply bring your full, non-judgmental consciousness to this exact moment, to the raw feelings it's stirring up.
Like turning on a light in a dark room.
That's a great way to put it. You're not judging what the light reveals, you're just seeing it. When you sit with your pain or your anger or confusion, without trying to flee, without immediately trying to fix it or slap a label on it,
What happened?
the experience itself begins to reveal its deeper layers. Insights emerge that were completely obscured by your resistance. And often, the intensity of the challenge starts to soften, just because it feels truly seen and acknowledged, even if the external situation hasn't changed yet.
That focus on just being with what is, it sounds simple, but it feels like a real game changer, moving from reacting to just observing.
It is fundamental.
Okay, so once we're present with what is, what's the next crucial step Valir points to for actually transforming it?
The next key is acceptance.
Acceptance, okay.
And acceptance, in this context, is a really powerful alchemy. It's essentially saying, yes, this is what I'm experiencing right now. Without trying to run from it, without immediately labeling it good or bad, without demanding that it be different right now.
It doesn't mean you like it, though,
Oh,
or approve of it.
Not at all. That's a common misunderstanding. It doesn't mean you like the circumstance or condone it, or that you're passively resigning yourself to it forever. It's simply a deep, calm recognition of the reality of this present moment.
And paradoxically, that acknowledgement is what starts the change.
Exactly. Paradoxically, this act of acknowledging what is often the very spark that begins to transform the experience. Valir uses the analogy of shining a calm, steady light into a dark, cluttered corner.
Okay.
What you accept can then be clearly seen. And what is clearly seen can be worked with, understood, and ultimately healed. Energetically speaking, acceptance starts to dissolve the glue that holds the contract's heavy energy to you. It signals your soul's willingness to meet the moment as it is, rather than fighting against reality.
Some people might hear acceptance and think it means giving up, like resignation. How is this different?
That's a really vital distinction to make. Resignation often comes with a feeling of defeat, doesn't it? A giving up of hope. It keeps you energetically tied to the pain because it's still rooted in a negative feeling, a sense of powerlessness.
Right.
Spiritual acceptance, as Valir describes it, is an active, conscious choice. It's actually an empowering act. You acknowledge reality as it is right now, which then frees up all the energy you are using to fight the unchangeable.
And you can use that energy differently.
Yes, you can use it for growth, for finding a constructive path forward, for healing. It's not about liking the situation, but about removing the internal resistance that was blocking any positive movement.
So it's proactive, not passive. Okay. And building on that presence and acceptance, what about how we relate to ourselves and others involved in these contracts? That brings us to the third key, compassion.
Yes, compassion. This acts like a soothing balm for those wounded parts of your soul. It softens the entire energetic knot that often binds these contracts together.
And it starts with self-compassion.
Crucially, yes. It involves cultivating compassion for yourself first. Really recognizing that, given your awareness, your resources, your emotional state at the time the contract was playing out, you truly did the best you could.
That can be hard, but so important.
It really is. And then extending that same understanding, that same compassionate lens to others involved, acknowledging that they too were likely acting from their own pain, their own limitations, their own soul lessons, their own level of awareness.
It's not about excusing harmful behavior, though.
Absolutely not. It's not about condoning actions that caused harm. It's about understanding the deeper human dynamics at play, the shared vulnerability, the unconscious patterns.
Shifting from judgment to understanding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As you start to release that self-criticism, the shame, the resentment towards yourself and perhaps others, the tangled threads, what Valir calls karmic entanglement, they begin to loosen. The whole situation loses its heavy charge.
And your energy shifts.
Yes, your energetic burden lightens. Your whole energy field elevates. And that creates the space for true healing and resolution to finally manifest.
That's powerful. Okay, presence, acceptance, compassion. What's the final T, the one that really seals the deal?
The final key, the one that transforms a challenging experience into pure, usable wisdom, is gratitude.
Gratitude. Even for the hard stuff.
Yes, but it's a specific kind of gratitude. It's when you can sincerely look back at a difficult situation, even a painful one, and genuinely say, thank you for what this taught me.
Ah, focusing on the lesson learned.
Precisely. When you can do that, you effectively complete the energetic circuit of that lesson. It's like finally plugging in the last wire, allowing the current of understanding and wisdom to flow freely.
It doesn't mean you enjoyed the pain, though.
No, absolutely not. It doesn't mean you're thankful for the suffering itself, but you recognize the profound growth, the strength, the insights, the hidden gifts it ultimately brought you, no matter how obscured they might have been at the time.
So gratitude neutralizes the remaining negativity.
It does. It neutralizes any lingering emotional charge. It seals the lesson like putting a gold stamp on it in your soul's record. The emotional intensity transforms. You can recall the experience, Maybe not fondly, but with a gentle smile of understanding, perhaps, rather than with anger, sadness, or regret.
And that releases the last bit of resistance.
Yes, it releases that final residue of resistance, truly turning the contract from a source of ongoing struggle into a source of immense personal empowerment and wisdom.
So let's talk about the feeling. What does it feel like when you've truly transcended using these tools compared to when you've just tried to force your way out to break free? Valir describes a really clear emotional contrast.
Indeed. When you merely try to break a contract, maybe through force or sheer willpower, you're often left with this heavy residue. Bitterness, perhaps, resentment, regret. There's a lingering emotional charge that can easily resurface later.
Yeah, it doesn't feel fully resolved.
Exactly. But transcendence, achieved through presence, acceptance, compassion, and finally gratitude, that brings a profound sense of peace,
Yeah.
a remarkable lightness, a deep inner harmony.
Like the struggle is just over.
Completely. There's no emotional charge left, no compulsion to keep rehashing the story, no lingering wounds that get triggered, just a gentle, secure sense of closure, and importantly, deep self-respect. You know you've fully integrated the lesson.
Okay. So when you've done this deep inner work, embrace these tools, what's the ultimate outcome for your soul's journey? Valir uses that beautiful image. You're not just moving past something.
You're graduating.
You're graduating. You're on a spiral staircase.
Yes, Valir illustrates our journey beautifully as a spiral staircase. Think about it. When a lesson or a contract is resisted, it really does feel like you're just walking in circles on the same level. You keep revisiting the same landscape of challenges, the same types of people trigger you, same emotional responses come up.
It's in there.
Haven't we all? But when you engage with and truly transcend a lesson, using these tools, presence, acceptance, compassion, gratitude, that circular path transforms. It becomes an ascending spiral.
So you might revisit similar themes, but from a higher perspective.
Exactly. You might encounter similar situations, perhaps a new relationship has echoes of an old one, or a work challenge feels familiar, but each turn finds you a level higher than before. You're equipped with more wisdom, more compassion, new tools to navigate it differently.
So progress isn't just linear, a straight line.
No, it curves and wends, but with transcendence, those curves carry you definitively upwards. You're not stuck in the loop anymore. You're spiraling higher.
And here's the part that really blew my mind when I was reading this material. This isn't just about your personal journey, is it?
No, it scales up.
Valir explains that these same principles apply to groups, even to all of humanity. We have collective soul contracts, lessons that play out across history, in societies, in cultures. So how does my personal transcendence, this quiet inner work I do, fit into that massive collective picture?
It's the grand vision Valir presents, and it's incredibly hopeful. When enough individuals do their own inner work, when they transcend their personal contracts using these principles, that higher vibration, that expanded consciousness, doesn't stay isolated within them.
It ripples out.
It spreads energetically through the collective consciousness. Each time you heal a wound, each time you release a limiting karmic pattern, you contribute a pure, clear note to the collective symphony, so to speak.
Wow. So my inner work actually helps everyone.
That's the profound implication. This is fundamental to what Valir calls ascension, the soul graduating to its next octave of being. Think of it like a musical scale. Each transcended lesson is like a note played perfectly. Completing a sequence allows you and contributes to the collective potential to move to a higher scale, a higher octave of existence.
What does that higher octave look like?
It means consciously moving into a dimension or a state of being characterized by greater love, unity, and freedom. A state where those old dense patterns and conflicts simply no longer need to arise because the collective frequency has risen above them.
So my personal journey, my deep inner work.
It doesn't just benefit you, it directly fuels humanity's collective evolution towards a more enlightened, more harmonious state of being. Every bit counts.
That's incredibly empowering. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, instead of trying to violently break free from those painful recurring patterns in your life,
Which we now see often just tightens the knot.
right, the profound wisdom from Valir of the Pleiadian Collective suggests we should try to embrace them, see them as our chrysalis.
Exactly.
And then through conscious presence, gentle acceptance, heartfelt compassion, and finding that deep gratitude for the lessons.
You allow a natural, powerful metamorphosis to occur from within.
Valir's core message seems so clear and really incredibly empowering. You are not breaking, you are transcending.
Beautifully put. You're not trapped in some kind of tomb of suffering. You're actually held within a sacred womb of rebirth.
And when the time is right, when that inner work is complete,
You will emerge, just like the butterfly, expanded, transformed, and truly free, leaving the old structures, the old limitations, to simply dissolve behind you. They're no longer needed because you've genuinely outgrown them.
So as you listening, reflect on your own challenges, maybe those recurring patterns that have felt so heavy, so stuck. Perhaps consider this. What chrysalis in your life right now is quietly waiting. Waiting not for your struggle, but for your presence, your acceptance.
Your compassion, your gratitude.
To finally release its deepest gift and allow you to truly fly. We invite you to explore this idea further in your own journey, discovering that powerful, beautiful metamorphosis waiting within you.